My name is Courtney Whittington, and I have decided to do my presentation on Bernard Madoff. He is the former CEO of NASDAQ and was also involved in security fraud and the longest-lasting Ponzi scheme to date. What is security fraud? Security fraud occurs when a person or company, such as a stockbroker or investment firm, provides false information to potential investors to influence their decisions to buy or sell securities. Security fraud is theft of an investor's assets. Broken down, security fraud is pretty much taking something for you or giving you false information in order for you to buy something for yourself or to invest into something. What is a Ponzi scheme? A Ponzi scheme is a type of securities fraud in which large gains are promised to investors, but in reality, newer investments are used to provide return on older investments. Ponzi schemes have collapsed over time as older investments eventually become too large to cover with new investments. There's more info on our SEC Gov website on Ponzi schemes. Who is Bernard Madoff? Many people have heard his name or seen him on many shows where they've talked about Ponzi schemes, but they actually don't know who he is. He was born in Queens, New York on April 29, 1938. He graduated from Far Rockaway High School in 1956 and graduated college at Hofstra University in 1960. He also attended Brooklyn Law for a brief time, but before graduating, he actually founded the Wall Street company known as Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities, LLC. When he opened the company in 1960 as a penny stock trader, he opened it with $5,000. His business grew with the help of his father-in-law. His name was Saul Alpert. He worked along with the New York Stock Exchange, and after a trial run, the technology that the firm helped develop became NASDAQ. What did Madoff actually do? So here's a breakdown of what actually happened for people that don't understand what a Ponzi scheme is or security fraud is in general. In 2008, Madoff was former chairman of NASDAQ and owner of an investment firm with more than 4,000 clients involved with him, was charged with securities fraud for orchestrating one of the most massive Ponzi schemes to date. His Ponzi scheme operated for years by promising steady gains to investors during all economic climate. However, the scheme failed when Madoff was unable to meet increased demands for withdrawals. The total amount of withdrawals that Madoff could not meet was more than $20 billion. He was found guilty and sentenced to 150 years in prison. Peter Madoff, which is the brother of Bernard Madoff, he was the compliance officer at that time. He admitted in his role of the scheme and pled guilty to falsifying records and received 10 years in federal prison. The scheme lasted over 2 decades. He claimed to generate large steady returns for the people that he promised these to through an investing strategy called split strike conversion, which is an actual trading strategy. Madoff deposited clients' funds into a single bank account that he used to pay existing clients who wanted cash. He funded redemptions by attracting new investors and their capital, but was unable to maintain the fraud when the market took a turn for the lower end in late 2008. Pretty much as he deposited the funds, when the market took a bad turn, he started losing more funds than he expected, so then he was not able to pay out that amount of money that he promised to his original investors. Once he was arrested, the fund statements were then researched and indicated that it had $64.8 billion in client assets. He pled guilty to 11 federal counts, including security fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, perjury, and money laundering. He was ordered to forfeit $170 million in assets. How did he get away with it for so long? His high returns persuaded clients to not care. He simply deposited funds into that account at Chase Manhattan Bank, which is now J.P. Morgan Chase, in 2000. When his clients requested to redeem their funds, he would pay out with new capital. He attracted people through a reputation for unbelievable returns and grooming his victims by earning trust. Breakdown. Madoff created a persona of respectability and generosity and bring investors to his charitable work. He carried himself in a way that people just trusted him. When he talked to them, they'd feel comfortable, and that's how he attracted so many of his victims. Who did he actually defraud? He defrauded a number of non-profit organizations: the Elie Wiesel Foundation for Peace, the Global Women's Charity of Hadassah, Manhattan's Fifth Avenue Synagogue and the members there, charitable organizations funded by Steven Spielberg, actor Kevin Bacon, and owner of the New York Mets, large banks, pension funds such as Spanish Bank, Banco Santander, HSBC, Royal Bank of Scotland, and Korea Teachers Pension. Why did he do it? While in prison, he spoke with a journalist by the name of Steve Fishman. That his father, who had run a sporting goods store, went out of business due to the steel shortages during the Korean War. And he said, you watch that happen, and you see your father, who is someone you idolize, build a big business, and then lose everything. Steve Fishman said that Madoff was determined to achieve the lasting success that his father could not achieve, no matter what it took. He felt that he had to work harder and do things, even if they weren't right, to get what he wanted in order to succeed. The aftermath. Thousands of investors lost their life savings. Many investors of Madoff have been helped by Irving Picard. He is a New York lawyer who is overseeing the liquidation of Madoff's firm in bankruptcy court. Picard has sued those who profited from the Ponzi scheme. By December 2018, he has so far recovered $13.3 billion to people that lost their money. A Madoff Victim Fund, MVF, was created in 2013 to help compensate those Madoff defrauded. The Department of Justice didn't start paying out any funds until late 2017. Richard Breeden, a former SEC chairman who is overseeing the fund, noted that thousands of claims were from indirect investors, meaning people who put money into funds that Madoff had invested in during the scheme. The directors were not direct victims. Breeden and his team had to sift through thousands of claims, only to reject many of them. 11,000 individuals had to be turned down. He paid over 27,300 victims a percentage of 56.65% back of their assets. I got my information from a few different sources. Of course, the textbook, which was the McGraw-Hill business textbook. Investopedia was great and broke down many different things for security fraud for me that helped me understand why he done what he did. Also, the balancesmd.com, it broke down the Ponzi scheme and how long it went on and who he actually defrauded. Thank you.